Greetings everyone and welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about dilithium farming. And if you're asking yourself, hold on a minute, didn't you already do a dilithium farming video? The answer is yes, but that old video relied on the 60,000 unrefined dilithium you could get from the Admiralty system every 10 days, and Cryptic changed it. So I did the responsible thing and took that video out back and put a phaser shot into it. So I currently have no guide on dilithium farming. People have asked about it, so I decided to do part 2. So this is my new dilithium farming video, and hopefully this one will stay relevant for a long time. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to be talking about the new method, or I guess I should say the new old method, since it's really a method that predated the Admiralty method, but it's gotten a new paint job and it's been brought back up to the forefront as the premier method, at least for me. And that is contraband. We've got to do contraband farming and contraband turn-in. We do get a little assistance from the Admiralty system, so that's good. It can give us a boost that way. And let's talk about the Admiralty component first of all. And this does mean that if you created a bunch of jem'hadar characters for Admiralty farming and you put them on the Federation side because you had more Admiralty cards over there, you are going to need to delete them and recreate them as KDF aligned characters, going through the tutorial and all that again, very painful stuff. But if you want to use this method, it is unfortunately necessary because the KDF are the only ones who have the duty officer assignments available to get the contraband in the quantity we need to make this work. We're going to get to the contraband in a second, but like I said, let's talk about the Admiralty component. I am here on my free-to-play account, and this is one of my random jem'hadar farmers on that account. And I had not played this since the spring, or at least I hadn't played any of the jem'hadar characters on this account since the spring. They were all still in Q's Winter Wonderland, so I had to bring them back over here. But if you go to the Admiralty, it used to be that if you did the tour of duty for the Klingon Admiralty, that you would get 30,000 unrefined dill. That's no longer the case. The current reward is dilithium vouchers for your fleet. We're not interested in that. The Federation and Romulan ones don't give us anything we're interested in, but the Ferengi one does give us something we're interested in. The reward for doing all 10 parts is 30,000 dilithium bonus pool. If you look at your bonus pool section up in the corner here, you can see that this guy still has 27,000 and some change in his current bonus pool. That's because I clearly had just completed it. I'm on 0 again, so we need to queue up the next one. So we're just going to find shortest duration one that we can get here. And if you don't have many Admiralty cards on your account, this might take a few times to cycle through because you're going to need to come back, finish them and then queue up some more because it can take a while for these to show up. And if you don't know what I'm talking about here, you can see it's got a gold border on it compared to the regular ones, and it says Tour of Duty 1 of 10. And you can only get one of these at a time. You have to finish the first one before you can get to the next one. So they get progressively harder. This one has 10, 10, 20 on requirements. They go all the way up to 100, 100, 100, in line with their number. So 1 of 10 is 10, 10, 10. 5 of 10 is 50, 50, 50. And they can have modifiers to make them more difficult or easier or whatever. So just about any ship should be able to do it here. So I'm just going to pick this one and queue it up. And he needs his drugs, so let's go ahead and give him his drugs. And there we go. So now I've done that. So when you log in each day on one of these KDF aligned jem'hadar, you're going to want to make sure you queue up that day's Ferengi Tour of Duty. And then every 10 days when it pops, you'll get your bonus pool. So you need that. What's the next step after that? You need contraband. We're going to talk about how to get the contraband in a second. It is a cycle, and I'm going to go through the whole cycle. But you could start at any point in the cycle. You will be at different points. It's kind of a 2-day cycle. So we're going to assume that we're already in the part of the cycle where we're on Kronos or on ESD. Whatever character it is, you've gotten your contraband. So we're assuming at this point you have the 5 contraband in hand. And this character has 23 contraband. So we're going to come over here. And we're going to, not him, we're going to come over here, we're going to talk to our security officer, turn over contraband. You can see it requires 5 contraband, and it pays out 2,000 dilithium ore. And because of the bonus pool, we're actually going to get 3,000 when it completes, so we're going to begin that assignment. Boom. Great. Now we have only 18 contraband left. When we log in again tomorrow, we're going to be able to have that assignment completed, and we're going to get our 3,000 ore. Because these guys were on the Winter Wonderland, I was doing the DOF assignments over there, and I wasn't keeping up with the dill farming, so this guy didn't have one to collect today, but you get your 3,000, you refine it, you go into the exchange, okay? Then you're going to want to set your dilithium per zen to 25. That's the lowest amount possible. We're not actually trying to sell our dilithium. We're trying to get it to our other characters who need it. Then you put in how much you have. I'm going to put in 1,900 here. Normally you'd have 3,000. Submit offer to buy. And then you go in on your main character, whoever needs the dilithium. You log in. You go to the exchange. The offer will still be here because it's based on your whole account, not that character. You hit cancel offer, and then you can withdraw that dilithium from your other characters. So all your jem'hadar characters will put their dilithium on the exchange at 25 per. Then you log in on the character you want to actually get it back, and you withdraw all of those offers, and obviously no one's going to buy it, and even if they did on accident, you would get an amazing price. You would get Zen for way less than it's worth, so it would be a good deal either way. So that's how you get the dilithium off of these characters and onto the character you actually want to have it. Now, in the old days, that's pretty much all there was to it. You would log in, you'd do the Admiralty, and then after 10 days it would pop and you would just get the 30,000 dill. You'd refine it every day, put it on the exchange, pull it back off. That was the whole system. Now that we have the contraband in the loop, we have to go and farm that contraband. So how do we do it? We need to go out to space. So we're going to go up to space, and I'm just going to do this in real time while I'm talking about it so you can see the process actually in action. There are multiple different sectors we need to leave and to go actually out onto the map. There are multiple different sectors that you can go to in order to farm the contraband, but I'm looking for maximum reward, minimum effort, so I only go to 2 different ones. And we're going to want to go to this one over here, the Arcanus sector, and the Zarantine sector, if I'm pronouncing those right. So you can see in my ship here, and your jem'hadar is going to have the bug ship by default, their T5U bug ship, and you kind of just got to line it up here, and I'm aiming, where am I aiming for? I'm aiming for this corner right here. So it's easier to line up before you get going. So I'm going to just kind of line this up here, and then I'm going to start going, and I'm going to go ahead and hit my quantum slipstream drive. And you can adjust a little bit, but we're going to want to end up in the Arcanus sector right here, like right on the border. And we are going too fast, so I'm going to have to hold down on the left mouse button here, or the left key, and I went too far. I haven't done this in a while, so I kind of screwed it up, but you'll get better at that. So we want to be right here on the border, and that's where we are. So you can see in the map in the upper right hand corner, right on the border there. We're going to come into the duty officer tab. We're going to go to current map. Sorry, not current map. What am I talking about? Go to personnel, department heads. Then you're going to want to go to your first officer, and you're going to have a bunch of marauding assignments. And you want the ones that have special item. Not all of them are good. Disable Vulcan Freighter, we'll take that one. Pretty much any of the ones that have 3 on them are going to be good here. Capture Starfleet Ammunition Depot. Scroll down, and they're not all going to be available all the time. Just get whatever ones that you can. Scavenge battle wreckage from skirmish, sure, we'll take that. And just get as many as you can here. Seizure of Federation refinery, we'll take that one. Unauthorized raid on Andorian military outposts, we'll take that one. At some point you are going to run out of duty officers. Okay, so we got a lot there, and now we're just going to want to speed up a little bit, and we're going to cross the border. And we saw that if you look in the very upper right hand corner, it does show you where your sector's at. We're now in sector 12, Arcanus, and now our duty officers assignments have changed. So we come back into the marauding, and now we have some new ones. We can do Blockade Federation Transport Terminal, we'll take that one. Come down here, raid, okay, we'll take that one. And the minefield usually doesn't give you contraband, so I don't bother that. I've run out of duty officers, so there we go. So now we take a look at our in-progress assignments, and these are pretty much all going to give us a bunch of contraband. I've gotten anywhere from like 6 to 30, so it really depends. There are other places you can go. The Japori, the Cassie sector, I think Ryza has some, I can't remember exactly, but you'll notice that I ran out of duty officers, so I had one more I could have queued up, but I didn't have any duty officers, so it doesn't really matter because you're going to use all your duty officers up in these two sectors anyway. And then getting back to Quonos is pretty easy. You can either queue up a mission that starts in Quonos and use the free transport that way, the free transwarp. You can use your regular transwarp if it's available. Mine's down right now. Or you can just use your slipstream again to get back. It only takes a few seconds. But, so, day one of the cycle, do your Admiralty, turn in your contraband. Then you're going to come out here, you're going to queue those up, then you're going to log out right here in sector space. Then we log in, we're going to pretend now it's day 2, we've logged back in again, we're right here. We come in, all of these will be done now because it's been a day. We claim all of them, we get all of the contraband onto our character, so that instead of having 18, he's going to have like, 45 or whatever. And then we queue them up again because it's been the next day, so now all those duty officer missions are available again. Then we hit reverse or forward or whatever you like. We go back into the other sector. Normally I do it backwards because I missed, but you just do it again. So you queue up both of these sectors, get all those duty officer assignments going again. And then here's what I recommend. If you're on an account that has an account bank, you're going to want to go into your ship bridge and get access to your account bank and set aside 5 contraband for yourself for today. Put the rest of it in the account bank. That way your Federation characters, your main character, whoever, they can go to the account bank and grab their 5 for the day and go turn it in. Because on this free-to-play account, every character, I don't have an account bank, every character farms their own contraband, every character turns it in themselves. On my main account, it's not like that. I have 4 dedicated contraband farmers. They put it in the account bank, and then my other characters who are all Federation pull it out of the account bank, and then they use it to turn in. So that's how you can do it if you're mostly Federation. You just need to carve out some jem'hadar characters to farm the contraband for all the others. Then, once you've done that, alternatively, you're going to go back to Kronos. Okay, my thing is done now, so let's go ahead and go back. And this is going to take a second. If you're on free-to-play like I am, and you don't have access to the account bank because that's 1,000 Zen, what you can do is you can use the mail system, and we're going to go take a look at that in a second. And hopefully, if you have any questions, you can feel free to leave them in the comments. Of course, I will answer any questions. I've gone over things a little bit quicker this time than I did in the last video. So if you are new to the game or you're confused or if I went over things too quickly, please feel free to leave a question and I will help you with that. So if you're on free-to-play like me, and this is going to be a useful tip just in general, it doesn't necessarily have to do with dilithium farming, but there is a mail spot here. They're usually all over the place. There's lots of mail spots. And when you send a mail, what you can do is, okay, I'm going to say compose mail. I'm going to come in here. I've got 18 here. I'm going to carve off some. I hold down Control before I click. Click on it, drag it. Now it's going to give me a slider. I want to pull off 5 because that's what you need to do a contraband turn in. And I'm going to put it here. Okay, and then character handle, you don't have to give the character name. And it will show you right here what you can type. It even says it right here. You must provide a handle, but to send mail to yourself on all your characters, you can leave the character name off. And I'm free-to-play 2020-2235, so we're going to go to Gauss free-to-play 2020, number 2235. Okay, and now I can send that, and you'll notice that I have mail. And this mail will be available to every character on my account. So if one of my other jem'hadar characters doesn't have their contraband for the day, I can pull it off there, or my Federation characters can pull it out of the mail, or whatever. So that's how you can transfer contraband to your other characters if you don't have an account bank. Additionally, one more tip. Under here, duty officers, you're going to want to go to personnel, and it's not always available. In this case, it's not available, but sometimes under personnel, you will have confiscate contraband from crew. You should always check for that one and queue it up as well. That way each character, especially your Federation characters who can't farm their own contraband, can at least pick up 1 or 2 contraband a day for themselves, so they don't need as much help from the other farmers, okay? So you're using the jem'hadar to farm the contraband on the KDF side. You have a 2-day cycle. You start on Kronos, you turn in your contraband, you do your Admiralty, you go out to sector space, you queue up the duty officer assignments. You log in the next day, do your Admiralty, claim the duty officer assignments, get your contraband, stick it in your account bank, okay? Then you go back to Kronos and turn it in for that day. So every day you're going back to Kronos and you're going out to sector space. Day 1 you start on Kronos, day 2 you start in sector space, and you're just going back and forth, farming your contraband, turning it in, farming it, turning it in, sticking the extra in the account bank, or mailing it to yourself so your other characters can claim it. When you get that duty officer mission complete for the 2,000, if you've been doing the Admiralty, you will actually get 3,000 because you have the bonus pool. That gives you 3,000 per day per character, and it's not as much as we used to get, but it's still a significant amount. It's a little bit more work than it used to be, but it's still the easiest and fastest way to get dilithium that I know of. There are plenty of other people who are going to have other tips as well. There are lots of other things you can do, and I encourage you to leave that down below. So if you have some extra tips and tricks or other means of getting dilithium, please feel free to leave them in the comments section. If there's a really good one, I'll pin it to the top. Again, if you have any questions, please leave them for me. I hope this guide has been helpful for you. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.